Ball, Professor Makau, Mutua, you know it's going to be a good show. Ahmednasir, Senior Counsel, is here. Thank you so much for coming, sir.
My pleasure, always.
And Prof, as always, good to see you. Thanks for flying back.
It's not flying back.
Welcome home.
I've been here for a while.
Okay.
And I've come to stay.
Oh.
At least until August the 9th.
Oh.
Yes.
That's some breaking news there.
It is some breaking news. I want to make sure that their path to the State House is completely blocked.
So, Grand Mullah, what do you have to say to that? The president today in Sagana 3, we were all watching. Actually, you know what? Let's listen to a bit of what he said. Even though it was in local language, there's a translation. Let's take a look.
Ona mwanake oyo wakwa rere akanyita raini acokeri kou na kou mbere ni tukamuhe ni ndina thina ni gutire mundu unyimite no riu haha ri ai ni tuthii uria hagereire.
Grand Mullah, literally, he said, let's support the old man. Your thoughts?
No, I think the president is entitled to express his views. I mean, like all Kenyans, he has the right to elect, a person of his choice. And that's a right he will exercise, I think, on 9th of August 2022. That he has more voice than one person is a false pretense he should be disabused of.
Prof, what do you think? I mean, he was asking the community in Central Kenya, he said, listen, endorse the old man. Even though he didn't rule out Ruto for the future, but he said, for now, let's endorse the old man.
Well, I think, obviously, he's the head of state, and so therefore he's got to be diplomatic in how he speaks. And I think, for the most part, he was diplomatic. I think what my friend Ahmednasir is not recognizing when he says that Mr. Kenyatta only has one vote, what he's not recognizing is the fact that what happened today was historic. It's the first time, really, in the history of the country that a sitting head of state has gone out and publicly lambasted his deputy, saying that the deputy was unfit for office for a multiplicity of reasons, not least of which include being ethically challenged, being petulant and impudent, unable to execute his duties, and essentially being absent from office, what we call AWOL, absent without leave. And so therefore this is historic, Ahmednasir, that a sitting head of state has disowned, disinherited, and taught his community to do the same with a sitting deputy president. That is significant. I know that you may not be his friend anymore, the sitting head of state, but you might not be his friend because I think you have found new friends.
Are you his friend?
You have found new friends.
Are you his friend now?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about you for now.
Answer the question. Are you his friend now? I
have never been his enemy.
Okay. Is he now?
I've never been his enemy.
Senior Counsel, what do you think? I mean,
No, first I think, it's not good to lie about history. I mean, this is not the first time a president has put down his vice president. It has happened. I mean, Moi did same with Saitoti publicly. Not with
the same disdain. Okay. I'm not saying publicly that this man should not succeed.
But
come on, Grand Mullah.
Let me put it like this,
Yes.
An angry president putting down his deputy president means nothing. I mean, there's no love lost between the two. We know that. I mean, Uhuru has no time for his deputy for the last 4 or 5 years. He's entitled to express his views. But I think we are making it more than just the expression of one person's view. Of course, he's the president, nobody denies. But, if he says, he said a lot of things about, I think, the deputy president, some of them fair, some of them not fair. But,
could you
name?
Not
the first time that we have had the president talk. We know the president. We give certain premium or value to his speech. Many of the things he says, even Mamamboga dismisses it. Nobody gives him much credence on what he says. Some of the issues, we listen to him and we respect his view, but nobody worships him, And I think the mistake the president makes is, I think there's a fallacy he believes that he can decide the destiny of this country. He can't. I mean, we know We know when he ran for president in 2013, how hard he struggled to become president. And it's the people that decided that he will be president. It's the people of Kenya that decided so many times that Raila will not become president. And I think they will speak one more time. Along the same line, they have spoken for the 3, 4, 5 times. But I think we just need to appreciate that the president has a right to speak as he likes. Whether it is a statement-like or not, whether it is a little bit pedestrian, it's up to him.
Yeah, but I think, with all due respect to my friend, you know, Ahmed is a spin-meister, a propagandist par excellence.
Between the two of us, you are the only one who is paid.
No, wait
you are the only one who is paid to spin.
Wait, you've heard your say.
I practice.
You've heard your say. If today, let me just tell you this, if today Mr. Kenyatta had gone to Sagana 3 and hoisted Mr. Ruto to the rooftops, yeah? I know that the grandmother does not drink, but today he would be drunk. You know, today he would have taken alcohol. Yeah. The reason why it is disparaging Mr. Kenyatta is because Mr. Kenyatta has decided that Mr. Ruto does not have the goods to lead the country. If Mr. Kenyatta has worked with Mr. Ruto for 10 years and has decided that Mr. Ruto is an empty suit, for whatever reason, is an empty suit because he cannot execute his own mandate as a deputy president, you know, he's entitled to that, and I think Kenyans ought to take that into account. Absolutely. Because this is a person...
Absolutely.
This is a person who knows the other person. Now, let me tell you something. He said something else, too. He said Mr. Kenyatta went and to talk some things that are not exactly, you know, true. I would like him to tell me, or to tell the viewers, what Mr. Kenyatta said today about Mr. Ruto that is not true.
No, first I think let me visit what... he made a very good point. He says that the president worked with the deputy president for 10 years and he knows. But what he doesn't tell us is that the president competed against Raila 2 elections and he has a lot of things, or he knows a lot of things about Raila. And he said so many times that Raila will destroy this country. He said Raila is not the right person to lead this country. He said so many times that Raila does not have what it takes to run a country of this. He said so many times.
And if you believe, if you believe what people say on a campaign trail against each other, you believe anything. I mean,
there was a
I thought
a campaign trail.
No, just listen. No, Grand Mullah, I thought that you are well trained as a lawyer to understand moments and places and what people say during certain moments and places. This was not a campaign speech that Mr. Kenyatta. No, it was not. It was really a statement of the country that here I am, I sit, and I'm disowning my deputy president, who is unfit for duty and for office.
I think he has to be fair. You know, sometimes if you don't speak logic, you don't look good, and that's your problem. You are saying a president is speaking in a vernacular language that's not understood by the rest of the country except one community. It's a national address to the country. What's wrong with you?
No. I mean, first of all...
but answer the question. What's wrong with you?
No, first of all, do not call our national African languages vernaculars. They are not. That's a racist, colonialist language. Kikuyu is a national language. Somali is a national language.
It's not national.
Kamba is no, these are national languages.
I've made my point, and I think instead of addressing it,
he's entitled to
digressing.
He's entitled to.
You understand what the senior counsel just said?
It can't be a national address.
No.
We're speaking to a community.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think that Kenyans did not understand what he was saying?
No, actually,
he communicated.
I didn't.
Grand Mullah, did you understand?
Of course you did.
Of course not. Of course not.
Of course you did.
You know, if the president says that he will address the whole country and calls the TV the way he used to call when he's in State House and address us, we will all listen to it. But if he says that I will speak in one language, I didn't bother.
I think you should travel. I think you should travel to the United States, go to the University of Irvine in California, and take classes by Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o about the importance of African languages.
But what impact did it have today, or do you think, on the Deputy President especially, the President's address? What impact do you think, Senior Counsel?
I think zero impact, you know. I mean, the speech was, okay, I mean, he endorsed the Raila, but, I mean, he endorsed the Raila in 2018. I mean, he endorsed Raila in 2019. He endorsed Raila so many occasions. So today's event was no event, actually. It was not newsworthy. And I think Prof will agree with me. I mean, the President's view about the Deputy President is known since 2018. I mean, nothing has changed, you know. Complete disdain, locked him out of his office, locked him out of the cabinet, threw him to the dogs, you know. I mean, that was a 4-5 year process. The pattern we know, the metrics we know, the facts we know. So nothing changed today. That the President is supporting Raila, I mean, nothing changed. I mean, Raila was his President's sidekick from 2018. I mean, he was eating from the President's hands from 2018.
Yeah,
he was the President's assistant from 2018. He was the 2019. So nothing changed. What happened today that did not happen, for example, in 2018 or 2019?
So I think you came here with some rehearsed lines that you are now spouting. Let me tell you something. In the history of this country, and you know this, and if I was to wake you up in the middle of the night, when you don't remember your rehearsed lines, when you would speak the truth, if I was to wake you up in the morning, in the middle of the night, you would understand the legacy, the sacrifice, the qualities of leadership that Mr. Odinga has exemplified in the history of this country. You would know that Mr. Odinga is Kenya's foremost living liberator, without even question. As I said on another program the other day, he is our Nelson Mandela.
And I answered
on the opposite side. Wait a minute.
He's our Putelese.
Wait a minute. On the opposite side, you have a precocious young man who has never sacrificed for a single day, who cannot explain his worth, who is riddled with scandal after scandal, who is impatient to capture the reins of the state so that he can change our constitution, to abolish term limits, so that he can allow his friends and family members to plunder the treasury of this country. That is the kind of person that you want to impose on Kenyans.
You are talking of
this is.
You are talking of rehearsed.
Do you love Kenya really?
Something he has been saying for the last 10 years. The same lines. He hasn't even. I mean, there's no new words you have used. These are the same stuff you say. That Raila is the liberator. Whom has he liberated, and from what?
Perhaps the gentleman here should go back and read some history. If you look at the history of the second liberation, for example, you look at the struggle for the 2010 Constitution. Look at all of those things.
I was a player. I was an actor.
You look at his role during the Moi regime. The kinds of things that he did. Where was your man? Your man was a Kanu hawk. Your man was. Listen for a minute. Your man was in charge of the police state. When Mr. Moi was in power. That is the person that you want us to elect,
Grandmula. We are tired of these old lines. You have said it for the last 10 years. That Raila has liberated.
Are you going to openly endorse Mr. Ruto today?
It's for me to decide. Not
you should openly endorse it.
But I don't want I don't want this distorted history that you have been saying for the last 10 years. This hero worshipping, this sucking up, to Raila.
No, but look.
It doesn't pay, because you're distorting history.
No, I'm not distorting history. This history is known, even by children.
If you tell us Raila was a minister for roads, we will agree with that, or minister for energy. Those are undisputed facts. But don't say
and he performed he performed extremely well in that portfolio as minister for roads.
Who told you?
It's a fact.
Gentlemen, let's we can talk about this all night, which is great debate, but let's go back to Sagana. The president also took aim at the churches, saying, in fact, let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
Muambie watu ukweli. Ithuothe gutire mundu utendete Ngai wake. Ithuothe gutire mundu utendete thayu. Yeni na mundu ahothaga kiria hotha kurigana na kiria Ngai amuhete na ne tuhothaga no ndugoke haha tondu na wahororwo mbeca cia uici oke utuhenie.
Senior Counsel, the President taking a direct hit at churches, saying they're accusing them of taking proceeds of corruption. Obviously a direct dig at Deputy President William Ruto.
You know, I mean, when a Kenyan leader, whether he is the president or anybody else, talks about corruption, he's not credible. I mean, I don't know why you guys give credence to a Kenyan leader talking about corruption. I mean, how can a Kenyan leader, whether he's the president, the deputy president, former prime minister or a politician talking, why do you listen? Because it is crap, it's bullshit. Don't listen to them because they don't practice what they talk about. President Uhuru is the first, he told us that in his government, 2 billion is stolen per day. He has done nothing about that. He has not arrested a single person. He told us that he has appointed a commission to investigate the COVID billionaires. That's about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Nothing has happened. So, if the president talks about the weather or, you know, or agriculture or something else, people should listen to him. But when a Kenyan leader talks about corruption or accuses someone of having a lot of wealth he cannot explain, don't listen to him because the person making the allegation must be on a pedestal that he can make those speeches. But in my humble view, there is no Kenyan politician who can pontificate or castigate someone or, you know, belittle or talk about another person's corruption. Because we know how the Kenyan politician makes his money. We know, the other day I said that Uhuru's cabinet has $5 billionaire and he, you know, he has, he made a lot of noise. But during the tenure of President Kenyatta, trillions of shillings were stolen. And not a single shilling has been recovered. And who stole that money? It's the people in the executive. It's the people who run the government.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I will listen to the president if he talks about a lot of things.
Yeah,
but when he talks about corruption, I have no time for that.
Yeah, so that is an unfortunate sort of spin and narrative.
Everything is a spin, eh?
No. It's a spin that and a narrative that whose objective is to excuse corruption. It is to say that corruption is here with us to stay. Let us not fight it. Let us accept it, and let us embrace those who are in fact corrupt. The effect of what he has said is just that, which is a platform that's been adopted by the deputy president, that and his people, his advisors, is that we will not fight corruption. Because corruption is here to stay, is with us, you know, we cannot do anything about it. Let me tell Ahmed that the first thing that you do with a problem is to recognize it, is to define it. And it is to use the moral authority, you know, of those institutions and individuals in society who can speak about something, to speak about it, so that the rest of us can mobilize ourselves to fight that vice. When you say that Kenyan politicians are corrupt, I don't disagree with you. They are corrupt.
So why don't you listen to them when they lecture on corruption?
Listen, but if you say that we should never listen to them when they talk about corruption, that's tantamount to saying that we should not fight it.
No.
That's tantamount to saying we should not fight
Prof,
it, and that's a wrong approach.
No, Prof.
You know, so for example, if you know, and I know the reason why you are reluctant to accept that leaders should talk about corruption. Fundamentally, is because the leader that you support cannot talk about corruption. The head of state here was talking about the monies that are given to the churches, you know, every day and twice on Sundays by the deputy president. If you go back and you tabulate, you know, you can calculate and tabulate how much money this person has given the churches, it runs into the hundreds of millions of dollars.
Okay, but
wait a minute, don't stop me from making the point, because I know you are afraid of this point. it runs to the hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's ask the question and get an answer. Where did that money come from? When the head of state says that the money came from, was stolen from projects relating to dams and other, projects, should the head of state not know where that money came from?
Let me answer you.
Let me just conclude by saying this, Grand Mullah, to say that we cannot erase the language of corruption and activism about corruption and speech about corruption by Kenyans from our lexicon.
Let me answer.
We have to speak about it.
Very easy. Let me answer you because your arguments are not very sophisticated. Now, two ways. Yeah? First, if the president is saying that the money that's given to the churches are from corrupt proceeds, why doesn't he give first money that's not corrupt, proceeds to the churches? Clean money. Why doesn't he give clean money to the churches? That's one. Secondly, if the president says that he knows the source, he's the head of state. He exercises executive powers. He has everybody. He knows what's in the account of everybody. He knows where money comes from. If he knows money came from corrupt projects to an individual, why is he telling us, if he's genuine? Why is he telling us? If he is genuine, he will have nabbed the money when it's in one account, brought to court the person who has stolen that money and said that this money was stolen from that project. The difference between me and Prof is he likes hearing lullabies, He likes to hear stories. And I don't want to, if someone is not sincere, you don't have to listen to that person. You have to listen to genuine people who express genuine concern for the country. But if someone wants to make a political point, it's not worth your time to waste listening to that person. So when the president talks about, that someone has stolen money from a project and he's given to a church, if he has the evidence, why is he telling us? Why doesn't he act on it?
I think. Let me give you credit. He has for the first time in this conversation made sense. Okay, he's pronounced himself on a fact that if the head of state knows or knew that this money was being lost every day, the people who did it should have been prosecuted.
Yes.
I agree with that point. But what he does not then add, after saying that, is that the deputy president also knew that that money was being lost. And now his boss is accusing him of being the one who took that money. Now, I think that if you are honest with yourself, Ahmed, you are going to admit this one fact, that it is very difficult to fight corruption when your number two is corrupt, and when your number two is the one who is leading the corrupt enterprise. It's very, very difficult.
No.
And besides, and you cannot dismiss him. But what I will say to you is that you are right, that the head of state should have insisted and tried to put us behind bars.
If you are not truthful to yourself, you cannot be truthful to the country, and that's your problem. Because all your problem in this world starts with the deputy president and ends with the deputy president.
No,
this country,
not at all.
This country,
not at all. The country existed before him, and it will exist after him.
This country loses billions of shillings.
It is true.
So it's not just the deputy president. Why is the president, for example, during the last 10 years?
Are you admitting that the deputy president has taken money?
Let me finish, please. You have a president who is very powerful. In fact, the last 5 years, he was running this country single-handedly, without an opposition, because Raila was in his back pocket. The deputy president was thrown out of his office. So he was alone. He was running the country without cabinet, without anybody, solely. It has never happened in our history or even in many parts of the world. He is on record to say that this country loses 2 billion to theft. We have one scandal after another. The other day I was being told the boat was transferred to some company, but that's for another day. We had COVID billionaires, guys who made billions. We had You know, we had the problem with, I mean, there is no ministry that doesn't lose 80 to 70% of its development budget. And the president has taken zero step during the last 10 years. You are here clapping because...
No.
Wait, let me finish. You are here clapping for him because a loser whom you have been supporting all your life and who will probably lose the next coming elections, he has endorsed him. But because of that, that selfish interest you have, wait.
No.
Because of that selfish interest he has, he has forgotten about the national interest. And that is the tragedy of Kenya.
Ahmed.
People like Professor, who because of that temporal political gain they are making, will sacrifice the national good.
Ahmed, we know the people who have benefited in this country by supporting political leaders and by supporting political parties. One of those people is not Professor Mutua. Let me just tell you that.
You have hope. You are dreaming. That's what I said.
Let me tell you that. You are
a trader in the future market. That's I tweeted today. You are a trader in the future market.
Because you deal with self-interest, so you cannot understand altruism, and you cannot understand the history of people who have devoted their lives to the struggle. You cannot understand that. Let me tell you something. The person that you are calling a serial loser for elections in this country has won at least 3 elections.
No,
I know the last time
I will not accept.
The last time. I know you cannot accept that, but that's fact. That is just fact.
I was a lawyer for the president. I will not accept.
Fine. Don't accept it. Okay, don't accept it.
Prof, but don't forget, he was the lawyer for the president.
He was a lawyer. He was the lawyer for the sitting head of state. He was a lawyer for him.
So don't say he lost.
I'll say this: if you now sit here today and you castigate the person for whom you worked and whom you embraced, and for whose political party you have carried a lot of water. What does that say about your sense of judgment?
But
what does it say about your sense of judgment?
You have to understand.
It says to me that you are motivated by self-interest. Listen, what it says to me.
Listen to me. You have to understand that the false statement you made,
which
that Raila has won 3 elections.
It's a fact.
It's false.
It's a fact.
Because you know that.
It's a fact.
I think everybody knows that Raila had no chance.
Everybody? Who is everybody?
Everybody here.
No, of course not. Of course not.
And those Kenyans watching us. 2013.
If they could speak, they would repudiate what you are saying.
Mathematically, it was impossible. And even 2022 is even worse than that. But the problem is their default position is that, it was rigged, Uhuru has stolen, now it will be Ruto has stolen, even when the institutions of the state will support you.
By the way, speaking of
Raila... But let me just say this. No, but I have to say something.
Yeah.
If he says that Kenya is a country that is corrupt through and through, okay, where politicians steal money every day, how can they then turn around and say that elections can never be stolen?
Those are 2 different issues.
It's illogical. It's illogical.
Gentlemen, let's switch gears here. You both talked about Raila a moment ago, right? And today the president did too, in terms of the handshake, saying that his deputy lied about not being aware of it. Let's take a listen to this soundbite.
Okay.
Na tugecira no ria tuikarite nake ha no ndiramwira ria turacira na muthuri uyu na gitumi ndiramuhitha ene gethe akiuge ni gwikunga ndirekunga nie ndirekunga ndiramwira muthenya barigiti nie ne nguthie ni undu wa gitumi giki neguo nake iguithania nanie niona muthenya uria ndathire Harambe House mundu wa mwico kwaraniria nake ni uria tuikaranagia nake ngimwira ndathie na ni tukugeithania na muthuri uyu na gitumi ni undu wa giki neguo.
Senior counsel, President says his deputy was well aware of the handshake. He told him himself.
No, but you see, I mean, the handshake is not about telling someone that you will go and shake hand with Raila. That's not what the handshake is. The handshake is what happened after the handshake. And that was something, I think Raila has said it so many times. The president has said it so many times that this was a deal between just 2 persons. That's why it was not structured. That's why even Jimmy Wanjigi said that the day before he was with Raila and Jimmy Orengo, and Raila did not tell them anything. So whether the president tells, told the deputy president or not is immaterial in my view. What is material is what were the consequences of the handshake. And the consequences of the handshake, and I think this one even Prof will agree, is that the president replaced his deputy with Raila. Yes, the de facto vice president for the last 4 years in this country was Raila. And the deputy president was thrown out to the dogs. That's why he could not even access his office. That's why he could not even participate in the cabinet. So that is the essence of the handshake. Not whether he was called and told that, I'm going to see Raila and we are going to handshake. The important thing is, what were the consequences?
Prof.
I think that he has, again, missed the point. The point, I think, that was being made in Sagana by the head of state is simple. It is that the deputy president is a person who is a liar and who cannot be trusted. Okay? If the deputy president was briefed and kept abreast of the developments relating to the handshake and agreed with the purpose of the handshake and supported it, and then turns around and comes and says that he knew nothing about it, it was bad for the country, and so on and so forth. It's because something happened between these two men. And perhaps, Ahmed can tell us what happened. You don't run together as at the head of the ticket, a running mate. You govern for 5 years, and after 5 years, there is an ugly break, which is what has happened. Something happened between these two men.
Yeah.
The head of state has said repeatedly, at times, and the deputy president has never repudiated him, has said that this young man was impatient. He was precautious. He could not wait for the baton. He began running, before even the start of the second term. And I think, the head of the ticket is, should be allowed to complete what he started. So I think, Ahmed, if you be honest with the Kenyan people and with yourself, it is that something happened here. But I know that you do not want to accept or tell the Kenyan people that your candidate is a flawed human being. He is a liar. He is a hypocrite. He does not tell the truth. This is what you will not tell Kenyans, and I think you should.
I'm not as disrespectful as you are, because you have a personal grudge with the deputy president, just out of your loyalty, not personal actually, out of loyalty to Raila is why you are abusing the deputy president. As a person, I don't think you have a problem between the two of you, but to show your loyalty to Raila, you always go on this tangent, and it's unfortunate. I think the day you speak for yourself, I'll be very proud of you. The day you stop speaking for Raila is the day I think you will realize that, I can speak on for myself without pleasing someone.
I was going to say that the moment that you start speaking for yourself, instead of speaking for the deputy president, I'll be very proud of you.
So, Prof.
You both have a eureka moment.
We have a eureka moment. I would say that I would be very proud of you.
Let me go back to the issue. I don't know what happened. Like many Kenyans, I don't see the president every day. I don't see the deputy president every day. But I think from where I sit or where I stand, it is easy to see that the president found it easier to rule the country alone instead of, sharing power with his principal deputy.
But senior counsel, they had such a bromance. Remember those?
Yes, I know.
Exactly.
They had such a bromance.
Yes, but you have to understand that Raila provided the perfect, scenario. Did your deputy president run this country on your own? When you need political support, I will be there for you. Throw me a few crumbs once in a while. That's fine with me. That is exactly what happened. Nothing else. Go and look the history of the country from 2018, 2019, 2020.
Jeff, the people who are in Jubilee, some of them...
Like myself, yes.
Some of them sitting...
Senior counsel is there?
Yes. Some of them sitting... now sitting on the right-hand side and the left-hand side of the deputy president, have said openly that the bromance that you refer to between the two men collapsed or ended before the elections. Before the elections. This is before the 2017 election.
The reason being?
And that in fact, I think Mr. Keter, the former Minister for Energy, came out and said that Raila had nothing to do with the breakup of Jubilee or the breakup of our relationship with Mr. Kenyatta. He said that openly on the record. Suggesting that Ahmed, that something happened between these two men, and I, as a Kenyan, I'm waiting to hear from them, from Mr. Kenyatta and Mr. Ruto, what transpired between them. The way I saw Mr. Kenyatta's speech today in Sagana, the way he was gesticulating, the way he was intoning his language, the way he was moving about, you could see a certain gusto in the man. And I think he is prepared to hit the campaign trail. Okay? And I think not
Prof.
really against his deputy. And I think during this electioneering period, during this campaign trail that is going to hit, he probably is going to tell us exactly what happened.
You sound very different from the man who criticized the man. In fact, you even refuse to call him president. You have never referred to him as president.
Not only that, Jeff, I feel sorry for Prof. Because
I have
so many wishes that the president will do for him. He will hit the campaign trail. He will spill the penis. He will... Your hopes will never come true. Don't waste your time. You wanted the president to campaign for your candidate? You will not.
No, Ahmed.
Take it from me.
No, Ahmed, I'm just telling you that, in fact, that speech today had a lot to do with the head of state's feelings about his deputy president, not about Mr.
But that's new. That's not new.
Not about.
We have known it for 4 years.
Not about Mr. Odinga at all. When he campaigns, and I think he will campaign, when he campaigns, I think you're going to hear him talk a lot about the deputy president.
That's your wish now. That's your
Prof, you heard senior counsel saying he's not going to campaign for your candidate.
No, I simply say that much of the angst that we see in the country today is because a lot of people have realized that Mr. Ruto is not good for this country. And if Mr. Kenyatta has realized that, who am I to say that he has no right to realize that his deputy president is unfit to lead the country?
Senior counsel, part of the speech, the president, I think we have a clip of that when he criticized Ruto's newfound ally, Musalia Mudavadi. Should we take a listen to that?
Economy ne athirire ke ucio mwe tondu ari minister wa bia tamwirei atiriri mbeca iria rugamirire miaka iyo yothe atwaraga minister wa bia ri ona itikinyete nuthu ya mbeca iria ndiragaira gavana aya me haha ona itikinyete nuthu ina turaiguithania.
Senior counsel, you're laughing.
I think he understands the language.
Understand the language.
He understands the language.
So basically, you know what he said, right?
I mean, the president is making a huge mistake. The president wants to write his history. I mean, that never happens. You must leave to the next generation and historians to write your history. And I understand his anger because I'm sure he's not happy with so many things. He has done a lot of good things, I always admit. He has done some things poorly. But my view is that he wasted 4 years, 2018 to 2022. It's completely wasted years. And I think I can assure you that if you sit with the president today, he has a lot of regrets in terms of the time he wasted, in 2018 to 2022. But the president should leave that to historians to write. I mean, whether he is angry or not, whether he castigates Mudavadi or not, history will judge him according to his performance. And there are things he have done well, especially during the first 5 years when he was working with Ruto. But when, when Raila came to the scene and, started, dancing on the floor or making jokes or, excusing his mistakes, that's where the mistake happened, I think. It was, like the 4 big agenda, nothing happened. I mean, we have lost about $1 trillion on those projects. There's no housing, there's no healthcare, there's no manufacture. I mean, those were the lost years. And the person that caused the biggest problem and pain in terms of how history will judge the president is this man's candidate.
I think this is just, a rendition of UDA's talking points, which are essentially based on an alternate reality. An alternate reality, which means that it's not reality. The fact of the matter is that in the first 5 years of this administration, from 2013 to 2017, I think many people in this country know this. Mr. Kenyatta had sort of outsourced the government to Mr. Ruto. And it was during that period of those first 5 years when Mr. Ruto was essentially a co-president. And I wrote about this in many of my articles, that much of the corruption that we are talking about took place, that much of the borrowing took place, that much of the pilfering of the funds took place. I think it is in fact, in the last 4 years, that some of the things that Ahmednasir thinks are good have happened since Mr. Kenyatta sidelined his deputy. So, I mean, he wants to extol the first 5 years and poo-poo the last 4. And I'm here to tell him that, if he wants to be honest with himself, he will understand that much of the corruption and the borrowing that has put this country under a huge debt took place in the first 5 years of, when Mr. Ruto was in fact playing perhaps the controlling role in running this government.
By the way, Senior Counsel, there was a presentation in Sagana, I'm sure you watched it, by Andrew Wakahi of Presidential Delivery Unit, who said the last 4 years there's been more projects, more successful projects than the 5 years before that.
No. I mean, that's complete false, and the fact that someone said doesn't make it true, because we have been in this country for the last, God knows how many years. And during the 10 years of Jubilee, everybody knows that the most impactful were the first 5 years. The last 4 years, the president, came with a good policy of the 4 big agenda. What happened to the 4 big agenda? They completely collapsed. Completely. Manufacturing was one of the pillars. Nothing happened. Health, nothing happened. I mean, the only thing that happened was infrastructure, infrastructure, Chinese loans, 10, 15, 20, 30% kickbacks. I mean, that's why infrastructure was the favorite for everybody. But, I mean, for me, we don't consider, this superhighway to be an achievement. It is not an achievement. I mean, the World Bank, the first time the World Bank said you should construct it, the World Bank said the cost of this will be 12 billion. 12 billion shillings. Wait, Prof. 12 billion. That's what it said. If you read the Economist of this week, you will see the number of projects the Kenyan government refused to sign because of issue of kickbacks. Yes, it's all there. There's a big article in the Economist. Wait. Even the project that was, I mean, the government signed it at 66 billion shillings. I mean, 22 billion shillings were added the other day. 22 billion.
Which project was that?
This superhighway.
Oh, the expressway.
The express.
Mombasa Expressway.
22 billion.
Yeah.
Wait, let me finish.
22
billion. The cement. The cement. Who supplied the cement?
You tell me. They are your friends. They are your friends. You tell me. You tell me.
Go on.
Go and ask your friends.
No. You tell me. They are your friends.
Ask your friends who got the kickback for the cement.
Yeah, you tell me. Who did?
Who did?
Go and ask them.
No. Tell the Kenyan people.
Grand Mullah, tell us.
Tell the Kenyan people.
Who got the kickback for the cement?
Yeah, who did?
All of these projects were given people who are very close to my life.
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
come on now. This is defamatory.
Let me finish.
Oh, no,
Let me finish. There's nothing defamatory. We all
no, because you're accusing me of what?
We all know that 22 billion was just added in last month. So I mean, these contracts are just money-making contracts. Now, many were cancelled because of so many issues. So there's a lot of corruption in this government. There's a lot of corruption. Corruption, there's no checks and balances because the government, there's no opposition, there's no executive, there's no cabinet. There's a lot of...
I think...
has a lot of...
No.
Counsel, hold on. Yeah. Speaking of infrastructure, Aurora and Kimwarer Dam.
Exactly.
You have never commented on that.
Never.
No. See, I mean...
you've never taken any side.
No, but let me ask you. What happened? I don't know the facts. It is the president who said that a grand corruption happened. There's an arbitration now, I think, in Dubai, the case. The Italians, I think, are asking for the contract sum. The arbitrators will decide whether it was lawfully terminated or not. The only issue, I think the DPP spoke about corruption, and he said it's not the deputy president's docket. He said that is the Ministry of Finance, which is the docket of the president. That's
I think
DPP said.
I think
it's there.
I think I said earlier, Jeff. I said earlier that my friend lives in an alternate universe. He's continuing to live there.
Between the two of us, I live in Kenya and you live in America.
When corruption concerns the deputy president, or allegations of corruption, I should say, concern the deputy president, you suffer from this interesting spell of amnesia. He just forgets everything. He says, I don't know. I think there's something happening there. I'm not aware of that. He was not responsible for that. But when the corruption allegations point to the opposite end, to his former client over the last 5 years, he's very eager and anxious to talk about it. I think that wait a minute. I think, Ahmed, that we can agree, you and me, we can agree on this. We can agree that corruption is a cancer in this country. We can agree on that. We can agree on the fact that successive governments have not wanted to fight corruption. We can also agree on that. But we can also agree on one thing, that when surveys have been done in this country, surveys have been done of public officials and institutions, which are the most corrupt. I think that your candidate has always come out on top.
No, but
has always come out on top. No, wait a minute. You have to wait. And when you look at the scandals that have dogged his candidate, I mean, the scandals, go from here to Timbuktu. I mean, and there is nothing. There's nothing, Ahmed, that you have ever said about your candidate and those scandals. Nothing from the construction of the Western Hotel, from the attempt to grab the Langata, piece of land, from the dams, the scandal that Jeff was talking about. I mean, the list is endless. Your man was sacked from the Ministry of Agriculture. Do you forget that? No, there was evidence about corruption.
Who sacked him?
It was Kibaki.
No. I have said many times, and I will repeat for the record, when it comes to any aspect of corruption or governance, the buck stops with the president. He's the most powerful man in the country. Everybody works for him. He knows everything. If he wants to know tonight, he can know what is in the bank account of Ahmed, because it will be supplied to him very early in the morning. I mean, he has cabinet ministers, he has people in the intelligence, he has people steal and the president knows, he knows some of his cabinet are some of the wealthiest people in this country. I mean, if you go to...
Headed by the deputy president.
Let me finish. Yep. If you take a taxi with some of these, people who deal in land in this town, or even in Mombasa, and I've done this many times, they will point to you, this building is that minister. This construction is that minister. This construction is this governor. I mean, everybody in this town knows which governor is building apartments, for example, in Lavington, and the president doesn't do anything. So he takes the blame, in my view, because he is, you know, acquiescing, tolerating, or accepting that corruption. And that is why corruption flourishes. But if you say that, oh, corruption ends with the deputy president, it started with the deputy president and ended with the deputy president, people will see that as a very cheap shot. They will be very dismissive of you. They will not take you seriously. And I think that's what the president is suffering from, because for him, he only sees the deputy president, just like my learned friend.
No.
If you take a more holistic view of the problem, and say that, you know, these governors are corrupt, my ministers are corrupt, these men in the police service are corrupt, and I'm taking action. But of course he can't action because he only has, I think, 120 days, 150 days. And that is the tragedy of Kenya. That is the tragedy of Kenya. People, especially the president, is playing politics, and cheap politics at that, on a very important matter called corruption.
All right, gentlemen, let's take a quick break, come back and talk. We haven't even mentioned about Kalonzo Musyoka. They call him the reluctant kingmaker. Whoever he backs, will they become president? What do you gentlemen think? Let's take a break.
Let's take a break.
My goodness, this conversation is heated. It's smoking hot when the Grand Mullah shows up and the Prof with the crystal ball. I tell you, this is one show you do not want to miss. So keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag JK Live. JK Live takes a break, plenty more ahead. Do not even think of touching that dial, because we are back in a moment. And welcome back to Jeff Koinange Live here at Citizen Television. My goodness, when the Grand Mullah, Senior Counsel Ahmednasir Abdullahi shows up, and the man with the crystal ball, all the way from New York, he says he's here for the duration, all the way till August the 9th. Professor Makau, Mutua, when they both show up, you know this is one cracker of a show. Gentlemen, right before the break, we're talking about Kalonzo Musyoka, a man who's always in the middle. And now the headline in today's paper, one of today's papers, saying he's the reluctant kingmaker. What's happening, Prof? I mean, can he make up his mind who he's going to back?
Yeah, so I think in our political landscape, there are four key leaders in this country at the moment. One, of course, is the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. The other is the Deputy President, your friend. The other, of course, is the president himself, the head of state. And the last one is Kalonzo Musyoka, okay, the head of WIPA. These are the four key political leaders in the country. Mr. Ruto is spoken for because he is running for the presidency. Mr. Odinga is spoken for because he's also running for the presidency. Mr. Kenyatta is leaving. All right? The person who can make a difference in how this election is decided is Mr. Musyoka. Mr. Musyoka has said repeatedly, much to the chagrin of my friend here, Ahmednasir, that he will not join a bandwagon of thieves and plunderers. And he said, in so many words, that he will not join Mr. Ruto. These people are very depressed, as I speak, about what Mr. Musyoka might do.
By the way, he also said he will never work with Raila again. He would never.
No, that was back then.
Come on.
He has
long ago?
No. He has indicated recently, I'm sure that you've heard about this, that he is willing to work with Mr. Odinga. He is willing to come to Azimio. He simply wants to have a structured conversation. So let me finish, Ahmed. So I think that Mr. Musyoka is on his way. I think history will judge him favorably if he makes this decision. We, on our side, on Azimio's side, believe that we can win the election, that we will win the election, whether Mr. Musyoka joins us or not. But I think we would win the election decisively, without question, if Mr. Musyoka was to join us. And he has said that he would not join Mr. Ruto. He said that already.
But Jeff, I've said this, I'm repeating again for the record. This election is a two-horse race. It's between the president and the deputy president. I mean, Raila is not a horse in this race. Kalonzo Musyoka is not a horse in this race. I mean, Ruto knows the dynamics of the election, and I think he's fairly comfortable. Raila knows the dynamics of this election, and he has given up. He wants Uhuru to run for him. I mean, if you look at, for example, I mean, the Sagana 3, it was an attempt by the president on behalf of Raila to show up his numbers. If it doesn't work, I mean, that will be a big minus. If you look at Kalonzo, the person who is looking for Kalonzo, the person who is, you know, cajoling him, the person who is offering him the deals is not Raila, because Raila has nothing to offer. Raila has, you know, he's sitting somewhere waiting for the president to tell him that, you know, today I have brought this person to your column. Today I have won Northern Kenya for you. Today, Raila has given up the elections. He is not a player in this matter. The person who is playing on his corner is the president. So those are the two horse races.
Yeah, you know, that's just hogwash.
Okay,
that's hogwash.
Let me finish his word.
Let me finish.
Yes.
You will never see the former prime minister, for example, you know, receiving people, you know, serious defectors, or you will never see him negotiate with Kalonzo. The person who is negotiating with Kalonzo is the president, because he is the one who can offer him something,
but I think,
and you can enter into binding agreements.
Okay, but do you agree, Senior Counsel, that whoever Kalonzo backs will win, hands down?
No. Listen to me. Tonight, if we do the numbers, Raila has between 3 to 4 million votes locked.
Yeah.
Wait.
I mean, this is
wait.
Prof.
No, you don't like.
You have spoken.
Out of 22 million.
Yes. Raila cannot tonight. If we go to elections tomorrow morning, Raila will not hit 4.5.
Yeah.
He will not. It's impossible.
Where does it come from?
Okay, this is the way it is. He has lost Western. He has lost Lower Eastern. He has lost 40% of the votes he had in the coast. He has lost. I mean, Raila has been lose.
No.
His hope is to get something from Central. That's a big question. We don't know what he will get. So far, he's between 10 to 15% at maximum. So wait, let me finish. Tonight, if we go to election tomorrow, Raila will not hit 4 million votes. Take it from me. But Ruto will hit, maybe, if we go, maybe 7-8 million votes. So there's a big difference. So if Kalonzo comes, first, if Kalonzo does not go, if Kalonzo runs on his own, I mean, I don't think Raila will put a campaign after that, because there is no route to State House. Okay, he has no options.
Okay, Ahmed, you made your point. You made your point. You made your point. So this is what I was talking about. You know, about him living in his own head. You know, I mean, you know, a person who lives in his own head, they don't live in the real world. They live in their own heads. Mr. Odinga has run campaigns in this country, you know, in the past.
That's true.
And he has done extremely well. And
that's true.
As I said before, he has won 3 times.
No, that's not.
And by the way, been denied. You know, after winning those, you know, those...
And those are what, 2007, you said?
Certainly 2007, 2013, and 2017. Let me just finish, because he spoke.
But how? But you
spewed propaganda. You spewed propaganda.
Raila won 2013, 2017.
I did not interrupt
but
you.
How?
I did not interrupt you. Listen to this.
I thought the rule is I don't interrupt you when he's talking sense.
No, listen to this. So I'll say this to you. Yeah. There are strongholds in this country that have voted for Mr. Odinga solidly for election after election. The Coast region, the Western region, okay, Nyanza, even your own Northeastern, you know, in 2007, in 2013, and in 2017, okay? That happened at a time when the state was extremely hostile to him, okay? What do you think is going to happen if if those same blocks vote for him...
Well, those blocks have left him.
No, they
don't get it.
No, they have not left him.
They left him.
They have not left him. You see, Ahmed, what I'm trying to tell you is this here, is that perhaps you want to believe in your own head that Mr. Ruto is going to win this election. Let me tell you something, my friend. Mr. Ruto will lose this election hands down. And as I said, the person who I believe is left on the board who can make a difference, okay, in the numbers that Azimio is going to get in the election to win this election is Mr. Musyoka. Mr. Musyoka will pad, Azimio's victory. Now, I think that you just want to demean Mr. Musyoka because...
No, I haven't said anything about it.
You want to demean him because he has refused to join Mr. Ruto. Let me tell you something. After Mr. Mudavadi and Mr. Wetangula joined Mr. Ruto, do you know what has happened to them in Western Kenya? They have become total pariahs.
No.
Politicians have defected from them. They are being pelted with tomatoes and stones. Wherever they go in Western Kenya, they're being pelted with stones. Wherever they go. So
it's not even the season for growing tomatoes.
No, they're being pelted everywhere.
Kalonzo will not make a difference.
No. I want him to get clear. Prof is having difficulty breathing because the facts I have given gives him almost. But let's put it like this. Of course, Kalonzo is a very important factor. He is very important to Raila than Ruto because Ruto has his traditional, base, and he has stormed the Western, made gains in Central, and even in Lower Eastern. But there are two scenarios. If Kalonzo runs with Azimio, he will give them numbers, obviously. If he doesn't run, if he runs on his own, Raila, as I told you, will not hit 4 million. And we will confirm when we come back here, maybe 5-6 months down the road.
No. We'll be here before then.
So he's
we'll be here before then.
He's more important to Raila than to Ruto. Yes.
By the way, how do you come up with those numbers? Only 4 million for Raila, 7 million for Ruto?
No, I'm using the model for 2017 because Raila has lost Western, he has lost Eastern, he has lost so many places. He had made no gains. He is waiting for, Raila is living a dangerous life. Hope that Uhuru will deliver for him.
Perhaps the Grand Mullah has not been following the polling that has been taking place.
Actually, I do my polling. I do mine.
Like I said, he likes to live in his own head without, his pronouncements are not data-driven or evidence-based. If you look at the polls that have been coming out, just hold on a second.
So which one is specifically, so that I can...
Just hold your horses.
The one in the People or what?
No, just hold your horses. If you look at all the credible polls that have come out, it is true that the deputy president was ahead, right? That's just a fact. You don't deny that because he's been running for 10 years alone. Now, if you've been running alone for 10 years, and when the polling comes out, you cannot, go above 40% of the electorate. It means that you are plateaued. If you have been watching the polls over the last several months, Mr. Ruto's poll numbers have shrunk substantially, actually.
But he's still leading.
Yeah, he's still leading. I agree with that. They have shrunk. But Mr. Odinga's polls have steadily climbed up. And they have done so especially after Kasarani in December.
Because of your speech?
Mr. Odinga has just been running for the past 3 months, 4 months. Mr. Ruto has been running for 10 years. Okay? If there's a gap in the polling between them of 8, 9, 10 points, when one person has been running for 10 years, the other one has been running for 3 months, imagine what's going to happen by the time we head to June or July. So just wait a minute. So I just want to tell you this. Your candidate has plateaued. He is hemorrhaging. The numbers that Mr. Odinga is gaining are from Mr. Ruto. And he keeps on gaining them. and you keep on gaining them. And that's why I was telling you that if, for example, Mr. Musyoka was to come to our side, the game would be over.
You know, Prof, Prof doesn't know.
Yes.
Prof doesn't know because he's not a man of numbers. I mean, he will just come here and talk the way he wants, then he will go. The next time he comes back, he will say the same words. If you look at 2013 and 2017, do you know the percentage of gain Raila made? 2017, 2013, he made 1% gain. 1%.
1% of what?
He got
1% of what?
the gain he made, the percentage of the votes he got in 2017 and 2013. So, I mean, I think he got 1.5 or something insignificant. Uhuru made, I think he made a substantial gain. I can't remember the number. Now,
was that before or after the rigging?
Now Raila has lost his traditional basis this time. And I can tell you one, if you look at the numbers, Ruto will better what Uhuru got in 2017, except probably in Central. But everywhere else, Ruto will beat what Uhuru got in 2017. So in conclusion,
yes,
my friend knows, and it's given him and his principals sleepless nights, the numbers are very bad. The only hope is the president will work miracles. And I've done election petitions. I have been. There are no miracles in elections.
He is the only
elections
person.
Are won by votes.
He is the only person. He is the only person who is talking about
votes.
The president doing something in the elections, because obviously he knows something about this. Because in 2017 and 2013 even, they stole the elections.
No.
So he knows something about that. So he thinks that, you know,
Raila has no numbers.
You know, that's what you think.
2013, 20.
That's what you think. Just listen. Just listen.
No numbers.
Just listen. So I know that you have convinced yourselves on the UDA side that you are going to. You have these talking points that I know they have given you. They have given you talking points, and one of the talking points is that...
do you think someone can give me talking points?
Of course.
You think so?
Of course, it's to say that, because campaigns are run like that. Your talking points are that... Your talking point... Wait a minute, wait a minute.
You have addressed the Raila's rallies. I have not addressed any rally. You have addressed...
Wait a minute, Ahmed.
Kasarani, you addressed the rally.
And what is wrong with that? It's my right to speak.
I mean, you are party apparatus.
No. It's
my... foot soldier.
No, it's my right.
Me, I'm independent.
No, you are not, of course.
Have you seen me address a rally?
But you tweet 24/7 for UDA and for Mr. Ruto.
But you both tweet.
Yes.
No.
But he addressed rallies.
He tweets more than I do, and then he pretends that he does not support the deputy president.
He hasn't pretended. He hasn't said he doesn't.
No, he has said that. He has said that he has not endorsed him.
Actually,
wait a minute.
I've challenged him. No. Let him show one tweet. I think I've 40-something thousand. Let him show one tweet in which I have said the deputy president, people should vote for deputy president.
Jeff,
I have not made that decision.
No, Jeff, let me ask you a question.
I will eventually make.
No.
But so far, I have not.
Let me ask you a question.
But let me address rallies.
If you see a grown man in the middle of the street, kissing a married woman.
How do you know the woman is married?
Wait a minute. I'm just saying, if you see that
in the middle of a street, how will you know?
Do we have to be slapped to be told, what is happening? We know exactly what. No one has to slap us. We know exactly what is happening. This man is in the middle of the street kissing Mr. Ruto every day. We've seen what is happening. Come on now.
Senior counsel, let me ask you this: when it comes to a running mate,
yes,
for these two, whichever side, does the running mate have to come from Central Kenya? Is it a must?
I mean, it's a must for both. But you see, Raila's running mate will be picked by the president. And I think he knows that the president will pick the running mate. And that running mate, I think it's not rocket science. It will be the deputy party leader of Jubilee, whoever the president appoints. Ruto will pick someone from Central, because Central is, it's the most important, vote basket in Kenya. Yeah, it has almost 6 million votes now. And why it's important, in my view, is that the person the deputy president picks from Central Kenya will be now the leader of that community. Once he picks That is the leader of that community. President Kenyatta will be the former leader. The moment, the vice president picks his runmate from Central, that person takes over. In fact, that person will be speaking for the community into the future.
Let me just say this.
Let me finish.
Yeah, finish.
My views are troubling you tonight.
No, finish. No, finish.
So it's very important.
Yes.
The moment the deputy president picks someone from Central, that will be the leader of the Kikuyu community. That is the person they will coalesce around. From that time, the president will become very, very lame duck.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me just say this. If you look at the caliber of the people from Central Kenya who are lined up behind Mr. Ruto, and those are the people who are likely to be chosen. One of them is likely to be chosen to be a running mate.
It's very educated people.
None of those people is credible.
No.
None of them is actually credible. None of them has a national name. None of them has a history worth, reciting here.
Give some names, Prof. Like who?
Well, I mean, you might mention
no, but I think,
he knows what I'm talking about. People like Gachagua, people like Unjuri, people like, Waiguru and others. These are lightweights. They have no capacity or ability to lead Central Kenya, let alone, the country. But I know. But wait a minute. You spoke. But I know that your candidate is wedded to picking someone from Central Kenya, and I also know this. Okay, and don't be surprised by this. I also know this, that people expect that Central Kenya is going to play a very large role in the election. I think we all ought to be prepared for a low voter turnout in Central Kenya than we expect. Because for the first time, there will be no one from Central Kenya running at the top of the ticket. Okay? That being on the top of the ticket has a motivating effect on voters to come out. Okay? People generally do not vote for the deputy president. They vote for the president. Okay? So it may be a fact that may surprise your candidate that actually Mr. Ruto has overinvested in Central Kenya, and the basket of votes that he expects to get from there may not be forthcoming.
And Azimio, do you have to go for Central?
Well, I think in Azimio we are open-minded. We are completely open-minded.
Come on, Prof.
But I'm answering your question. We are open-minded. Okay. We have not decided on the running mate. We will look at every person who is credible. And by the way, wait a minute. If you look at the people who are supporting us, including people from Central Kenya, they are very credible people. They are people who can do exactly what he was saying, who can step in and be credible leaders of that region. They don't have such people on their side. You've seen, for example, when the deputy president, goes around campaigning, you've seen that all of them, these folks in Central that I mentioned, including people like Mudavadi and others from Western Kenya, they have to be with him to pull crowds. You've seen on our side, our people can campaign even without Mr. Odinga. You've seen
Odinga is unable to pull crowds this time.
You've seen, for example, when he was away for about 10 days, abroad. You've seen the large crowds that were pulled. You saw the crowds that your friend, Mr. Junet Mohammed, was able to pull.
Where?
I'm sure you must have been feeling very jealous about.
Where?
Very jealous about that, because everywhere in the coast, Kambani, in Western Kenya, you've seen what the campaign was able to do without the principle. If, for example, wait a minute, Ahmed.
Tononoka, one person died on Sunday.
Ahmed, wait a minute. If the people that we are mentioning, Alice Wahome, Didi Nyoro, and all these other people, go to call a rally somewhere by themselves without the deputy president, no one is going to show up.
I will not be as abusive and insulting as Prof to say that, the people, the leaders from Central Kenya that are with the deputy president have no gravitas or weight. Because, that's very insulting. Eh?
It's a fact.
Those are leaders.
It's a fact.
Their own right. Whether it is Alice Wahome, whether it is Anne Waiguru, whether it is Gachagua or Nyoro.
But it's a fact.
Those are credible leaders, They lead their people. The people listen to them. They carry their aspiration. They carry their hope. and they will punish them very badly on 9th August 2022.
That's what you hope.
Who's Raila's likely running mate? What do you think? Give me a name.
You don't expect me to be making news on JKL, do you?
I thought we would.
Let me just say this.
Yes.
Let me just say this, though. I think that whoever will be picked by Mr. Odinga as running mate is going to be a credible person, both from his community and before Kenyans. A person who can, because we're talking about a person who is a heartbeat away from the presidency, a person who can step in on day one and become the head of state, a person who can work with the head of state, a person who loves this country, a person who has no scandals, okay? A person who is ethical.
Jeff, I think you're asking him the wrong question.
Let me finish my point.
Is it Raila who will pick the deputy president, or is it the president who will pick for him? That's the question you answer.
No, of course, Mr. Odinga will pick.
Because so far he's not making a single decision about his campaign.
No. You are not in a campaign,
including
Ahmed.
The finances. I mean, people are paying for him, everything.
Ahmed, you are not in the campaign. You are not in the campaign.
Yes, he's not raising funds. People are giving him handouts.
No. There's nothing like that. I hear that you are
the election campaign of the Honorable Prime Minister is being run by Jubilee.
No.
And that's a fact. That's a fact, yes.
Who do you think they'll pick for him then? Who do you think will be his running mate?
I think they will. We will surprise them. As Jubilee, I've not left the party yet. We'll pick for you. You're the running mate.
When are you going to leave the party? Are you going to call a press conference tomorrow to leave the party?
I will leave after we pick the running mate for you.
By the way, has Mudavadi and Wetangula have they had any effect on your side?
Oh, let's forget for once, the tomatoes that have been thrown, when it's not. But I think the officials bystander, the objective bystander will tell you that, Mudavadi is a politician reborn. Everybody is seeing a Mudavadi that's different, articulate, forceful, real macho. This is the first time I think you have seen that Mudavadi. And I'm told, from what I'm hearing and reading in the papers, that Western now is gone.
Gone from
who?
Gone from Raila. Raila now was almost, especially in Kakamega, Bungoma, Vihiga. The only place I think where he has a fighting chance now is Busia.
Yeah. Who's telling you this? Who's telling you this?
Let me finish. And that is why even, very strong person normally like Governor Oparanya. Oparanya has refused to participate in...
Oh, come on
Let me finish.
Come on now.
Oparanya has refused to participate.
No, come on now. Governor Oparanya was the other day.
Let me tell you, things are thick.
No.
And Prof is very unhappy. Actually sad.
No, I'm not.
Prof, Western is gone?
No, it's not. Of course not. Of course not. If Western is gone, it is gone from Mudavadi, it is gone from Wetangula, and it is gone from the deputy president. Because what the people in Western have realized is that Mr. Mudavadi and Mr. Wetangula, could be bought so easily. Could be bought so easily.
I think that's the problem you have.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Cast aspersions.
No.
Like bought. Who bought them?
No. Wait a minute.
Which market?
Wait a minute.
How much?
Who
drew the agreement?
Just listen.
What was the consideration?
Let me tell you. There is credible information.
Share with us. Share with us.
Yeah, I'm sharing it with you. There's credible information that these guys were induced.
How? By whom? And for what?
By the deputy president.
Come on, Prof. That's just hearsay.
No, it's not. It's not
as a lawyer, it's not even hearsay. It's something lower than that.
No, let me tell you. But you have been, you spent the last an hour and a half spewing out hearsay. You have spewing hearsay here. Why do you think people are defecting from Amani and from Fort Kenya? They are defecting because they realize that their leaders sold them.
Actually,
to Mr.
Ruto. Actually, they are defecting.
They sold them to Mr. Ruto.
They are defecting so that they can get campaign funds, then come back. You don't know that.
By the way, Grand Mullah, tell me something. Your learned colleague Paul Gichero's case in the ICC as we speak, what effect will that have locally?
Every morning he wakes up to clap, hoping that case will bring down the deputy prime minister. But that case is, it's a case based on hearsay. It's not, it's about Gicheru. it will have no impact, absolutely zero. But Prof can tell us his wish. Let's see him. Prof, what's your wish?
Well, you know, you've told us your wish. And your wish is that the case will not affect the fortunes of the deputy president. If I was the deputy president and I was running for office, and if I was a Kenyan who was a patriot, and I was supporting him like you, I would be concerned about the allegations and revelations that have been made in the Gicheru case. You know, for the first time, the prosecutor stated on the record that the scheme to corrupt witnesses, to bribe them, to disappear them, and to interfere with the administration of justice was carried out with the knowledge and active participation of the deputy president. This has been stated. Witnesses have now testified on the record that they were bribed by Mr. Gicheru from Mr. Ruto. Okay? Surely, Ahmed, I mean, even if you have so much affection for the deputy president, you must be concerned that an individual with such, you know, sort of low moral standards, such disrespect for the rule of law, okay, could win the election in this country to become the president. A person who has been accused credibly in an international tribunal.
Those are witnesses.
That
no, wait a minute.
That these things happen.
Civil society.
So if I was if I was you, Ahmed, I'll be very concerned about this. Okay, if at some point you do decide to come out openly, stop being a watermelon. Come out openly. Stop being, you know, saying one thing but meaning another. Just come out openly and embrace Mr. Ruto. Okay? We shall know you, because we know people by the company they keep.
But, Prof, is that case going anywhere?
Why not? You know, legal processes are legal processes. I would say that so far what I've heard so far is very damaging. It's very damaging. If I was Mr. Gicheru, I'd be very worried. You know, the concern that they should have on their side is that Mr. Gicheru might want to cut a deal, to get a better deal for himself,
well, I mean,
by singing, by which I mean by saying more about what he knows about Mr. Ruto's involvement. These are just, you know, things that should worry, you know, Ahmed here, my friend. They should worry you. And they should worry you not simply as a campaign mouthpiece for Mr. Ruto. They should worry you as a Kenyan, that such a person is so close to
Jeff, can we conclude by saying that his many predictions that will befall the president and the deputy presidents, dire predictions of death and destructions, have always been his wishful thinking. Nothing comes out of his mouth that ends as the truth.
I predicted that Jubilee would collapse. It did. But on your watch. On your watch.
Your counsel, remember, he has a crystal ball, huh?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, let's go to the magic wall, see what the viewers are saying, because these tweets are coming in very thick and very fast. Rianga Bwarango says, ask Makau Mutua if Atwoli's assertion, appearing on this show, that Ruto will not be in the ballot box had anything to do with Uhuru's revelation today, that he, Ruto, will only be supported in the future, not in this election.
Well, I think I'm not Mr. Atwoli, so but what I would say simply is that if I watch the goings-on in the campaign trail, and then I also watch what's happening at The Hague at the International Criminal Court, I would say that there's jeopardy there for Mr. Ruto. There's jeopardy. Will he be on the ballot or not? I don't know, but there's jeopardy for him.
Honorable Caleb Kositani, you know him, Mheshimiwa says, ask Senior Counsel if he'll be interested in joining politics. Senior Counsel.
What do you think? You can be my campaign manager.
Well, I don't think that there is any county that can elect, you know, Ahmed here. You know, but he might consider going to Mandera to run for, you know, an MCA.
Senior counsel, you're not saying anything.
No, I'm okay. I'm enjoying. Why should I go to politics? I'm enjoying life.
You should. Yeah, right.
Yes.
Bjorn Waldegard, is that his real name? Bjorn Waldegard, like the former rally driver. I got to agree with the Grand Mullah on this point. Politicians talking about corruption, that's like a hyena shedding tears at a goat's funeral. Politicians are politicians, but Kenyans mistake them for leaders. You agree, Grand Mullah?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, trust me, when a Kenyan politicians talk about corruption, and I think Raila talks a lot about that. He always talks about jailing people. I mean, those are the guys you should waste not even a second on them, because they're hypocritical, they are telling lies, they don't know what they're talking about. And normally, leaders who pontificate about corruption are very corrupt.
Dingoho is saying, when the government of Kenya was formed, the cabinet was 50-50. Ruto takes the blame for his share of the cabinet, and equally Kenyatta takes the buck. It's like a coalition. Uhuru woke up too late to stem the tide and the runaway looting. Agree, Prof?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that when the two gentlemen shared the cabinet, we know what happened. Mr. Ruto appointed virtually all his ministers from his community. At least Mr. Kenyatta was more balanced. But I do agree that in the first 5 years, there was a lot of looting.
Wakisa says, I don't know why the learned partisans can't connect that 2022 succession politics. Let Uhuru to fall out just after 2017 re-election. It began during visits by Mamangina, Uhuru, Raila, Kalonzo to Kabarak to see Mzee Moi. Then Ruto was blocked. Is that what happened, Grand Mullah?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know this visit, what the significance of visiting Moi had on the impact on this. But I think, I mean, the best person to answer why there was a fallout is the president. And I think Sagana 3 was about spilling the beans. But nobody saw anything today.
No, I think...
were there any beans spilled?
I think there were beans spilled. I think that there was a down payment there in Sagana on what might be coming next.
What does that mean, Prof? I mean,
well, come on, you understand English. I mean, I think that what Mr. Kenyatta teased what he might be saying in the coming months. And if I was again, Ahmed, I would not be very comfortable, because I think that, you do not, as the head of state, speak so disdainfully about your deputy and disinherit him without, there being more than meets the eye. And I think that he'll be revealing more. I'll be shocked if he doesn't. Yeah.
No, but I think Prof is the old school, and I don't blame him. He thinks leaders decide everything in Kenya.
No, I don't.
It's the voter.
Of course I don't.
You're putting so much hope in Uhuru.
No, I'm not.
Performing a miracle.
I am not.
Let me tell you.
Ahmed, I'm not, actually.
You will not.
Ahmed, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what he might say.
Because you have to internalize.
No, I'm just telling you what he might say about the deputy president.
It's a down payment for something.
Yes, down payment for something.
No, don't put your hopes in Uhuru.
No, I'm not. I'm not putting a hopes in anyone.
Okay.
But the Kenyan voter.
Yeah, that's now important.
Goge Kimadi says,
Prof. 3.5.
Prof, by analyzing the parameters that define democracy, does Kenya suit to be categorized as a fully democratic state without any bureaucratic influence, executive supremacy, or unwarranted governmental deprivation? Is this a fully democratic state, Prof?
Does he want me to take the country to a constitutional law class? I don't want to do that.
No.
What I would simply say is that we are a fledgling democracy. We've taken some baby steps. I think that the various arms of government have not learned how to execute, their mandates. And I think that, but I think that democracy is a journey. It is not a destination.
Okay. Yeah. Wabara once asked Grand Mullah supporting William Samoei Ruto bid is correct to him, but Professor Makau Mutua supporting Rao is seen as him speaking from Raila's think tank. Politics is all about interest and numbers. They might have their way, though, right?
Yes, but I mean, I think Wabara, if he was listening, when you asked him the question about who's your runmate, he said, as Azimio.
Yes.
That's what he said. As Azimio, I don't speak for Ruto's campaign.
Of course you do.
Yes, I don't.
Of course you do, Grand Mullah. I gave you the example of the... No.
He speaks for them. He addresses their rallies. He participates in their meetings. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I am proud to participate in those meetings. I am proud to participate in strategies for Azimio because I think that this is a historical opportunity. It's a historical opportunity.
When Jeff is inviting you for forums like this, he must say that Azimio is representative. So that the public knows.
No. Look.
You don't know, you are just ideas. You tell Kenyans, you are a professor from Buffalo.
No.
You are not.
No, look, Grand Mullah, I don't think there is another more prominent person in the legal field in this country who is speaking for Mr. Ruto the way you are. You know, you have a big voice. You speak for him every day. I recognize that, and I value that. And I think that the reason why our great friend Jeff, invited us here, is so that he could come and hear you, defend Mr. Ruto.
By the way, senior counsel, UDA is targeting the youth, a lot of the youth. Recent registration drive, only 1 million out of targeted 6 million registered. There's huge voter apathy. Who's going to vote for these guys? The youth aren't interested anymore. Where are these votes coming? Where are these numbers you're saying coming from?
No, I mean, I think now we have about 20 million registered votes.
Yep, almost 20 plus.
The last time, I think the voter turnout was 75%, which is very high. This time, maybe slightly lower than that. But I think Kenyans will come out because the stakes are high. I mean, the compelling narrative of the two candidates and their surrogates is very compelling. On one side, I think you have a candidate who has tried since he was in his 40s to become president. So many times, I think the voters, for one reason or another, have rejected him. And I think you must respect that. Yeah.
But don't forget Hachalema in Zambia tried 5 times.
No,
Grand Mullah, he tried.
Let me finish. This last time now, the problem he has is, on those 4 occasions or 5 occasions when he tried, he was his own man.
Yeah, I think
he's a project.
No. I think I've said
a project.
No.
And Kenyans.
No, do not parrot. Do not parrot things like that. No.
Well, you must.
No.
And Kenyans.
No, you are parroting things that you should not parrot.
Whether it's a primary school teacher or an MCA or an MP.
No. The reason why you are talking like that.
You up. Nobody will.
Grand Mullah. The reason why you are talking like that is because Mr. Kenyatta refused.
But
listen to this. Just listen. Mr. Kenyatta refused to endorse your candidate.
I'm saying
he refused.
Raila is our project.
No,
member. I'm speaking for the party.
You're speaking for Jubilee.
No, he's not
speaking for the party.
No, Mr. Odinga is the most.
It's our project.
Mr. Odinga is the most significant political leader in this country for the last 50 years.
Once upon a time.
He cannot be a project of anyone. And that
Same Jubilee.
And that line that you are mentioning, listen, that line that you are sort of spouting out is a tired line.
No, Prof.
Please retire that line.
No.
Please retire it.
Prof, as a member,
come on, retire. You're not a member of Jubilee.
Raila has competed against Jubilee.
Come on now.
17. Now, I think the president said today, the president is a party leader of Jubilee. I'm a fairly important supporter of Jubilee. I am saying Raila is our project.
But what does it say? Listen, what does it say? What does it say about what does it say about the deputy president? What does it say about if your deputy if the president says the deputy president is not fit?
That's internal matter for our party.
No, what does that say?
All right, gentlemen, on that project note, we'll have to.
It is not. We cannot end on the project note. We cannot end on that note, Jeff.
Prof.
I want this gentleman to eat those words, to retire those words, because that project language is a language of desperation.
But
it's a language of desperation. It's a language of desperation.
For him, you fund his rallies.
No, come on.
You hire his helicopters. You put petrol in his cars. You are saying you are bringing 20, 30.
And the deputy president. The deputy president is stealing money from Kenyans.
No,
he is.
That's a whole other debate.
Jeff, he is.
That's a story for another day.
I think
it's
right
fact.
to say,
He's not doing anything
on the project.
No, he's not doing anything to earn the money that he is getting from the public coffers. He is not.
Professor Makau, Mutua, Ahmednasir, Abdullah, Senior Counsel, Grand Mullah, gentlemen.
We cannot stop there.
I could go on. Tell you what, let's come back and debate this.
Let's come back and debate
How's
this.
that?
Yes.
Is that good enough?
Good enough.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes.
Wow. I tell you, what a discussion. Grand Mullah in the house and the man with the crystal ball. Whoa. Thank you, gentlemen. This has to continue. This is not over yet. Because I tell you, the election is still 6 months away. Plenty to talk about, plenty of ground to cover.
But I'll end it on August the 9th.
It will end on August the 9th, okay?
I will end it on August.
You will?
I'll end it.
All right. Thanks so much for being a part of Jeff Kanangala. Remember those 3 letters on the keyboard, JKL. Good night, good luck. God bless Kenya. Thank you, gentlemen.